Hey there, everyone. It's been quite a while. My name's Gadget, and I used to run this channel quite a while ago doing Let's Play videos, but I've decided to resurrect it for something a bit different. As you can see on the screen, I've learning to draw. So I set myself a challenge for 2023, which was to draw something every single day of the year. And at this point, we're on day 58. So I thought I'd, start documenting what I was doing a bit more than just on kind of Twitter and on Discord. So you join me. I've been drawing this in sessions for a few days. This is a kind of an original monster that I'm creating for my D&D campaign. I'm calling him a Temegu. And I kind of envisaged this weird kind of river predator, I guess you would say. He's got claws, he's got a spiky tail, he's got muscles. But yeah, I've been drawing him for the last few days, kind of trying to work on kind of his form, how he's put together. And I figured I would start recording this for video at this point because this is the end of the process. This is me kind of finishing him off, so I'm doing kind of details at this point. So you can see I'm doing the claws right now, taking a kind of a bone colour, creating kind of striations, which you normally get with bone. Same for the kind of sharp piercing tail. Yeah, I don't know what made me want to resurrect this channel. I haven't really uploaded to it in about, 6 years now. But I was just thinking about it, and just like I'm really enjoying drawing. And as I've been kind of learning to draw, I've been watching a lot of people do kind of speed paintings and speed drawings, and I thought, hey, fuck it, I can do this, can't I? So yeah, this is this is where I am. So my kind of challenge to learn to draw is going to be kind of a mix of kind of me doing, studies like learning anatomy and stuff like that, and pieces like this. And I think I'm probably going to record when I do pieces, or when I, draw something reasonably interesting. Right here, I'm doing some kind of shadowing on the kind of the bone, the horns, the tail, just trying to like give everything a little bit of depth. I'm doing this on my Surface Pro, and for some reason my touchscreen keyboard wasn't working very well, so that's why I haven't named any of my layers. But this one's been a pretty kind of linear drawing. It's really bad practice to not name your layers, I know. Here I'm just putting some detail on it, so that I kind of envisage with this creature, they're kind of having two up its back and on its forearms, and kind of down the top of its tail will be these kind of armored segments, as if, if this thing kind of sits under the water, it wants to be protected from above. So this is me kind of drawing this detail of this kind of segmented armor, and it's kind of basic and it's kind of scratchy, but it kind of all blends in when I get the final bits of the piece done. And it's just trying my best to keep it even, but I haven't quite got that muscle memory yet. So you see I've done that there for the tail, and then I start doing it for the kind of what you would have the armored forearms, these kind of rigid bone armor, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And while I'm doing this as well, I'm trying to shape out the forearms. I'm trying to, you can see the kind of the line where it kind of moves back up the backside of the forearm gets curvier as it goes around, as to give the curve of the arm. I'm trying to mirror that, and I kind of get it wrong here, trying to mirror that the opposite way on the other arm, to kind of go in the opposite direction. I don't quite think this is the best thing I've drawn yet, but it is something I had a lot of fun drawing. And most notably, something completely from my imagination. Like, I didn't use any references or anything for this. So here I'm starting to work on the kind of the foreground and the background. So I kind of wanted to do kind of the under river bed kind of feeling. So create a foreground layer kind of for him to actually sit on. And just created these kind of messy kind of shapes, filled them in. And then we create another layer underneath where we do like a darker version of it. And we kind of create a little bit of depth behind him. and me trying to decide which brush I'm going to use for highlighting it. So we've created the kind of the darkness of it. Now we've got a kind of a bristlier brush, and we kind of give the highlights and give shape to the rock forms. So again, trying to give it a little bit of depth, and it doesn't need to be precise because it's not the focal point. It's just to kind of give you the impression of where he is, and kind of that there is this kind of rock doing either side of him. And then I move to doing proper highlights. I think this is where I get the palette knife. No, okay, do highlights on the foreground first. Again, create depth, create some like rocks, some kind of formations. I know it looks messy now, but trust me, it looks better. There, this is where it takes me ages. I'm searching for a kind of a palette knife brush. I have far too many brushes and I haven't still learned properly how to use them. We get this one, we make it a bit smaller, and then we kind of go over the edges to give it where the light would hit it. And again, it doesn't need to be neat, it's just a bit messy. And then we go onto the smudge tool. And we just kind of blend it all around. Again, this looks really messy now, but trust me, it all comes together once we get the rest of the layers in. Right, here is a part where I fuck up, because I forgot that I was still on the smudge tool. And so I went to fill in the background with a really large brush, and yeah, forgot it was on the smudge tool rather than the drawing tool, which meant it tries to smudge the blue into the white. And you know, surface isn't the most powerful thing in the world, so this is sped up to like 2000%. This took about 15 minutes in total to just kind of sweep this very large brush across the back and try and blend it with the white of the background layer. So I felt like a prat, and my laptop got incredibly, incredibly hot. So sped that up, now it's done, and now I just do it with the blue. So now that we've filled in all the blue, we want to create a bit of depth, because, you know, water gets darker the further you get into it. So what I did was I took this kind of ambient brush, where the pressure dictates the opacity, forgot to change the colour, but then I put it to black, and kind of like fade it around so it gives a bit of depth, and then I reduce the opacity. So it looks like, you know, the further you get into it, the darker it gets. Which is how water works, generally speaking. And then we wanted to put some, I say I. I wanted to put some kind of like sunlight coming in from the surface. So we use some yellow, and then we fade down the opacity, and then I use some white, and again fade down the opacity once that's done. So you get kind of like God rays coming in. And then we create another layer, and we go for a bit of a green, and what we're going to do is create some kind of underwater foliage here. And I just use a kind of a oil painting brush for this. And just give me a couple of there. It's a Bob Ross style happy little trees thing. Just gives you, again, a little bit more depth, a little bit more shape. And I think it looks quite nice. And then I was very happy with that. Give a bit of an opacity down. Then we create one final layer. Colour over the top, and then this becomes a kind of turquoise green overlay, which then gives you that watery effect. So your greens, your blues, and your blacks make it. And then we have a little bit of a scroll around, have a little bit of a look at it. I think he looks pretty good. So yeah, this Temegu is done. I've signed it also. Yeah, I think he looks pretty good. So if you enjoyed this, please do, you know, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Come back. I'm going to be doing more of these, probably a couple of these a month. This is fun. I'm really enjoying drawing, and it's nice just to be able to share that with people. And hopefully you'll see me over the rest of the year as I progress and I get better, because trust me, I'm in a better place than it was at the beginning of the year. But that's it for now. So thank you for watching. Good night.